All right, the very first Suicide Squad trailer dropped. Well, Suicide Squad 2, right? From James Gunn. Let's do it.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head.
We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Arnold. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
You know the deal. Successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence. Times are hard. You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
So this is the famous Suicide Squad.
Nom nom.
Any questions?
And
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
we're all gonna die.
I hope so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Here's the deal. We fail the mission, you die.
If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth.
Harley, although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I had to eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Don't you worry, eh? I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Oh my God! We've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit!
Uh-huh.
I love the rain. It's like angels are splooching all over us.
Well, it definitely feels like a James Gunn movie, doesn't it? It's got, darkness and blood and gore, but it's also got a lot of humor. And it's, not subtle humor, like the humor is pretty obvious and blatant. And if you've seen multiple James Gunn movies, you know what his style is usually. Although, Brightburn, his movies aren't always funny. Like, Brightburn wasn't funny, really, but it had that darkness in it. I'm going to assume that the members of the Suicide Squad that we see the most of in this trailer, and the ones who got character posters earlier today, are going to be the main characters in the movie and the ones who will be least likely to die, or maybe none of them will die. But all the other Suicide Squad members we've heard seen, leaked, who don't get character posters and who weren't seen in this trailer that much, they're going to be the red shirts, right? Interesting enough, one of the main members billed, even though he doesn't have a character poster, is Captain Boomerang, right? So does he die? He was, in the first Suicide Squad by David Ayer, and I don't want Captain Boomerang to die in this movie because he's a Flash villain, and I want him, if Ezra Miller's Flash movie is successful and has a big franchise, I want Captain Boomerang to live to be a Flash villain, right? It would be a shame if Captain Boomerang died before he could really reach his full potential as one of the Flash's main Rogues Gallery members. But anyways, it was also it's definitely a red band trailer because they showed, lots of blood and gore, like when King Shark ripped that guy in half. And I think there was another part where he ate some guy, right? He grabbed him from behind and threw him into his mouth. And then at the end, we saw Starro. And it's cool. It was cool to see Starro walking around. I love Starro. Starro is really cool and awesome because if you think about it, Starro is mainly a Justice League villain, but you can use Starro anywhere. He's like a giant starfish from space, and on the one hand, that's ridiculous, right? But on the other hand, it's awesome, like a giant starfish from space. That's totally a character, a concept James Gunn could work wonders with, right? Making the ridiculous awesome and pretty brutal. But I liked it. It felt a lot like the Suicide Squad comics, the ones that I've read. You know, Amanda Waller is recruiting people, putting them on these missions that are, you know, they're like crappy missions, and they're people who are like, I'm at the end of my rope, you know, I'm a loser or whatever, but let's go. It feels like it's going to be a lot more accurate to what the Suicide Squad is in the comics than the first Suicide Squad did, the one that David Ayer made. I know David Ayer, that was the studio making him make changes, the one that was released in theaters. Maybe, you know, the real Ayer cut would have been more like the Suicide Squad in the comics. But that movie didn't feel like it didn't feel like it was honoring the Suicide Squad concept, right? Just the tone and the kind of mission they were doing. This one does. It's a bunch of criminals being forced to do a mission in like these weird like black ops missions under the radar, and you know, in another country with political intrigue. That's the Suicide Squad. Very interesting. It wasn't a big... I felt this was a trailer that set the tone and the storyline. You didn't really see too much like huge over-the-top action. We saw teases of that, like, you know, little bits of it, but they're holding back, I think, on some more awesome stuff that we're going to see in a later trailer, like 1 or 2 more trailers, right? There was like a hint of a lot of stuff. Like we saw like a bit of Starro and his legs in the end of the trailer. We didn't really see too much of Starro doing much though, right? Because that and the team members fighting Starro and other people in really dynamic ways, that's probably going to be saved for trailer number 2. But this should definitely get people talking. I liked it. So, you know, let's see more. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.